Holy love, sacred love, abundant love, source of love, let your love shine down on me. From below, from above, love I hope I'm worthy of, source of love, let your love shine down on me. Before the morning light, I already feel it shining before I open up my eyes. I already see it shining when my road is rough. I can feel your love, and that's enough for me. Blessed love, holy love, sacred love, abundant love, source of love, let your love shine down on me. As above, so below, love from whom all blessings flow, a source of love, let your love shine down on me. On me and the ones I love, shine from below and from above. Protect my family, be a light on me. Shine on me and the ones I love, shine from below and from above. Protect my family and shine through me. Be a light in me. Be a light in me. Love. So we turn to page 120, and the little hustle and bustle here that you might have picked up on our recording was the prayer books were a little late in getting out here. So I hope everybody has a prayer book. And instead of calling on someone to light the candles, because it is challenging outside, even with all our future months, I will do it myself so no one else is embarrassed. And invite the Cantor to sing. The Cantor will sing. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot to light the lights. Oh, hear my prayers, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. So Papi Joel asked a beautiful question right before we started, which was, why do we light 3 candles? Tradition has it that we light 2. One for the word Zachor et HaShabbat, remember the Shabbat, and one for the term Shamor et HaShabbat, to keep the Shabbat. Some places, some families have a tradition of lighting 1 for each person in the family, each female in the family. You can have whole elaborate candelabras. So why do we light 3? Theoretically, we're supposed to use 1 to light the other 2, so we can pre-light 1, and it's not as awkward for the people coming up to light the candles. Why do we do it when we're outside? Because then there's a chance that 2 of them will stay lit, but if Reese blows, then we'll still have 2 Shabbat candles. So lighting 2 is the minhag and the custom, and thank you for asking that question. And take this moment as you bring in Shabbat and imagine, as you close your eyes, the people that you love, and you don't have to even think a thought toward them. Just bring an image of them up, and you can imagine lots of people that you care about, and send them Shabbat love, send them Shabbat healing, Shabbat prayers, and just a sense of strength and peace and calmness as we enter Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yisham mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'haneh shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yisham mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'haneh shel Shabbat. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen.
It's so special to gather here together on this Shabbat, and that many of us had a wonderful dinner from Zorn's, a beautiful Shabbat dinner. Some of you enjoyed it at your home and have come back. Some of you enjoyed it at your home and are joining us on Zoom. And some of us were able to join together here. And it was wonderful to see old friends and meet new ones, and just to sit together and bring in Shabbat in community. So I hope we have more opportunities to do that, and that will be our future. Tonight is Tu B'Av. Last Sunday was Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, and today is like Tu B'Shvat is the 15th of Shvat. Tu B'Av is the 15th of the month of Av. So while Tisha B'Av remembers times of darkness and tragedy within the Jewish people, Tu B'Av is the Jewish Valentine's Day. It is a love holiday, like a Sadie Hawkins kind of. The girls could ask the boys to dance, or I don't know, to get married, or whatever they were doing. And this is Tu B'Av. The Torah portion for this evening is Va'etzchana, and in it are the words of the Shema and the V'ahavta, two of our most beloved prayers. And the V'ahavta starts, and you shall love. So I invite you on this Shabbat to fill your soul with love, with ahava. You can picture that beautiful statue in Jerusalem at the Israel Museum, with the aleph and the vet, and the hey, and the vet, and the hey, like the love, the stamp, the one in Philadelphia, but it's in Hebrew. And let's just put more love into the world on this Tu B'Av, on this Parsha where we remember, celebrate the V'ahavta. So I invite you to turn to page 127 as we pray together at the bottom of 127. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessings, O God. Page 138, Lecha Dodi, and a reminder that we will rise and turn and face the Sabbath rise. Get some more.
Lecha Dodi, Ifrakada, Meshabat, Ekavela, Lecha Dodi, Ifrakada, Meshabat, Ekavela, Shamor Bezapur, Diribor Echad, Ishtianu, El HaMeyuchad, Adonai Echad, Shemo Echad, Shemo Tiferet, V'Nidahila, Lefadoti, Lefrakala, V'Shabbat, V'Kavela, Shabbat, V'Havela, V'Hayoti, V'Brakala, V'Shabbat, V'Havela. And now we rise to greet the Sabbath God. Glory to Shalom, Tzedek Balam, Dam B'Simcha, Hosanna, Tov Emunah, Am Segula, Boi Chala, Boi Chala. L'Chadoti, L'Prakala, L'Shabbat, L'Havela, L'Chadoti, L'Prakala, L'Shabbat, L'Havela, la-la-la-la-la-la, la-la-la-la-la, la-la-la-la-la, la-la-la-la-la,
We remain standing as we turn to page 146 for the Baruch.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. Roll into dark. For Ahavat Olam on page 148, the Hebrew will come in the middle somewhere.
Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Oh, hey, oh, the light up, roll in. Oh, mi Moshe, Goleh, oh, mi Moshe, Moshe, mi Meor. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
Page 150, Ahavat Olam, a prayer that we sing that helps us remember God's love of us, which came through Torah and mitzvot, laws and ordinances.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Ahavata, Torah mitzvot, Ukim u'mishpatim, Otanu le'malika. Amen Adonai Elohim, V'shovrenu v'kumenu, Nasiach b'chukecha, V'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha, U'b'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Hinei chayenu, Orech yameinu, uvehem negeh, yomam v'layla. Ve'havat ha'ka'al Sarene le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Elod Malchuto.
that we just sang is in this week's Torah portion. And I wanted us to spend some time with it today. That first word, Shema, means listen. So I invite you, if you're comfortable, to close your eyes. If you're not particularly comfortable doing that, just maybe lower your gaze. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And take a nice exhalation also through your nose, feeling the tension leave your shoulders and your face. As you inhale through your nose, let the air travel to the back of your throat, down through your lungs, the diaphragm, and all the way into your belly. And then to exhale, bring your belly button toward your spine and press the air out gently in much the way that you breathed in. So inhale gently, slowing your inhalation down. And exhale, seeing if you can make your exhalation even a little slower than your inhalation. Can you just hear the breath coming in through your nostrils in such a way that no one else can hear it, just you? And feel the breath travel down into your body. And then gently press the breath back up and out, gently breathing out. And as you continue to breathe very gently, maybe you can hear your own breath or the breath of those around you. What else can you hear? For those of us outside, I can hear the energy of the air. Maybe it's the sound of the highway. It's very still. This moment, there are no birds chirping, but we might hear some. And if you're sitting in your own backyard, what do you hear? And if you're sitting in your house, can you hear the sounds of your home? Shema, listen. Shema Yisrael. Listen, Israel. We are all Israel. We are the people who hear the still small voice of God, who hear the roar on the mountaintops, who hear the cries of others. Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Can we listen as Echad? Can we listen as one people, as one family? Can we listen to the cries of our earth, the cries of the world around us? Can we listen to the tears of those who are crying and the joy and laughter of those who are celebrating? And then can we listen even harder? Can we be partners with Adonai in hearing, in really hearing? Can we hear the love that is possible to hear when we clear away the hate, when we clear away the discord, when we clear away the not listening, the lack of patience? Can we hear the love? Love Adonai. And thou shalt love Adonai with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all of thy mind. And all these words which I command you on this day shall be in thy heart, shall be in thy heart. And thou shalt
shall teach them diligently unto thy children. Thou shalt speak of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, and when thou risest up, and when thou liest down, and when thou liest down, and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be for frontlets between thine eyes, and thou shalt write them on the doorpost of thy house, and upon thy gates, and upon thy gates, that he may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
Jay said it, being outside feels like Eisner. I can't think of a melody that makes me think more of youth group or camp, except maybe You've Got a Friend. Then that'd be a hafta. So how perfect and beautiful. Although I don't think we ever had this kind of perfect weather at camp with no bugs, no rain, no nothing. We continue together on page 157. Together, standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, and that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Mi Chamocha, page 158 in the brackets.
No right to either. Oh, say, who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Malakutecha, Raumanecha, Bokeayam, Mipne Moshe Miriam, Zelianu, Anu Ve'ameru, Adonai Lo, Leolam Vaed. Who is like you? Adonai.
Page 160 and 161. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim, ufros alenu sukat shlomecha, v'taknenu be'etzah tova milfanecha, v'hoshienu l'ma'an shemecha. Together, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Shamru, page 162.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashavat la'asot et Hashavat le'doratam le'ridoram. Beini u'bein b'nei Yisrael oti le'ram oti le'olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashavat la'asot et Hashavat le'doratam le'ridolam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashavat la'asot et Hashavat le'doratam le'ridolam. Uyom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashavat la'asot et Hashavat le'doratam le'ridolam.
We turn to page 166 for the Avot v'Imahot, and we rise for these pinnacle prayers in our service.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Hanodah, Elyon, Romeo Hasadim Tovim, V'chonei Hakol, V'zocher Hasei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevir l'neihem, L'ma'an shemo be'ahava, Melech ozer u'mashiach u'magin. Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Abraham Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Hanan, Mechayei Hakol Atara V'Hoshia, Mechaper Ha'im B'Chesed, Mechayei Hakol B'Rachamim Rabim, Samomek Novim V'Rafek Olim, Umatir Asherim, Umekayim Emunato, Mishenei Avar, Mihamo Abba Mikurot, Umidom Ela, Melech Mimid Umeparaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, Emunah tayo ako. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekayeh Marko.
On page 171. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we do not know it. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Please be seated. We continue on page 173 at the bottom responsively. Disturb us, Adonai. Ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Deny to us the lost Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and that the walls of your temples are not sheltered with justice and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashavat. Page 175. Let's say.
Adonai Elohim, Le'am HaYisrael. B'Tei Adonai Elohim, Le'am HaYisrael. Tefilatan, be'ahava tikaber. Tefilatan, be'ahava tikaber. Pretend Adonai Elohim, Le'am HaYisrael. Pretend Adonai Elohim, Le'am HaYisrael. The battle, Tamid Avodah, Israel, America. To keep the battle, Tamid Avodah, Israel, America. Receive Adonai Elohim, Le'am HaYisrael. Receive Adonai Elohim, Le'am HaYisrael. שאורך לבדך
Turn the page to page 177. Before we offer our prayer of thanksgiving, I just wanted to let people that are here know there is some water over there. If anybody gets a little hot, it's kind of beautiful out, but it's there. So we take a moment and think of what we're grateful for to our friends on Zoom or on Facebook. We invite you to put in the chat something you are grateful for on this beautiful Shabbat. And we focus on the love that is in our lives, the love of being together on this day, the love that maybe has left this earthly world, but that we still feel each and every day, and the love that we can send forth, and the love that we receive as we pray together. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, and for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, ato shivcha l'chana lehoto. And we pray for peace, Shalom Rab, 178.
Shalom Rab, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rab, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki Adahu Melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom. Ki Adahu Melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rab, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rab, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael. B'kol עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך. Shalom Rab, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rab, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We take these next few moments for the prayers of our hearts, another opportunity to listen to the voice of God, the voice of our conscience, and to our hearts.
Only love can make it rain the way the beach is kissed by the sea. Only love can make it rain like the sweat of lovers laid in tears. Love, rain on me. Love, rain on me. Rain on me. Rain on me. Only love can bring the rain that makes you yearn to the sky. Only love can bring the rain that falls like tears from mine eyes. Love, rain on me. Rain on me. Love, rain on me. Rain on me. Rain on me. On the dry and dusty road, the nights we spent alone, I need to get back home to cool, cool rain. I can't sleep, I lay and think. The night is hot and black as ink. Oh God, I need a drink of cool, cool rain. Love, rain on me, rain on me, rain on me. You get the association, right? To Bob, love.
I imagine somebody sang that before you.
You sang a song?
Yeah.
Who?
I know, thank you. Wasn't on my cheat sheet, so I didn't know the answer.
I was gonna do the whole thing a cappella and then I missed my opportunity by trying to play.
Oh.
It's a disaster.
Better than Roger Dole.
Oh, thank you, it was gorgeous. And this chair's-
You play Bob O'Reilly?
That'll be the closing song. I think Jackson's coming to sit back now.
Oh, that's right, Jackson's here.
You're gonna go.
How
get
could I
the chair.
forget that? I'll sit on David's lap.
Okay. In the summer of 1981, I got to go on a teen tour to Israel. We didn't call them teen tours back then. It was my nifty summer in Israel. And it was a full 6-week trip. Now they do 4-week trips and charge the same amount as they would have for a 6-week trip, just like the camps. Anyway, because we had 6 weeks, we had 2 weeks on a kibbutz, picking pears before the sun came up and then sitting around doing nothing because there wasn't anything else for us to do. Although I had a lovely host family on the kibbutz that I stayed in touch with for a while. It was really delightful. And one of the beauties of such a long trip was that it started in Jerusalem and we had time at the end of the trip to go back to Jerusalem. And that ended up being particularly powerful for me. The first week I was there was fun. We did sightseeing. I was making new friends on my trip and getting to know everybody. But in truth, we could have been anywhere. I wasn't really focusing on Eretz Yisrael, of being in Israel. But by week 6, when we return to Jerusalem, I feel differently. I feel a passion toward Israel, its beauty, its people, its culture, its Jewishness, its history, and its many, many stories. I feel personally bereft that the Sinai Peninsula, where I had been camping on the ground and seen some of the prettiest vistas I had ever seen, was going to be returned to Egypt in 1982, shortly after I was there. Something I have now come to see in a more positive note, as there has been peace, or at least a peaceful border, for almost 40 years now. I shouldn't have done the math. That's a long time. So I am there in my 16th year of life, and Israel is in her 33rd year. And I feel an unconditional love of Israel. You couldn't have told me anything bad about this amazing country. I'm not concerned with politics and with which party's in the Knesset and who's making alliances with whom. I assume that the occupation in the West Bank will end soon, and that someone will figure out a way to end it. All I want to do is figure out how I can get back and how soon. How do you love Israel? Do you remember your first trip? Or is it a place you're still longing to go? Do you have a relative who would always talk about Israel, either because they had been there, maybe a long time ago, or because they haven't yet gotten there and they want to? It's on their bucket list. Maybe you learned about it in religious school with oranges and camels and a homeland for the Jewish people. You learned Hatikva, the hope, the dream, the promise. Or if you're like me, you danced in a little Israeli dance troupe in 4th grade with Mrs. Gilman and little Beth. I vividly remember this. Israel is certainly the land that we read about in this week's Torah portion, the Etzpanan, and in all the books of the Torah. It is where our attachment starts with our stories. It has gotten more difficult to love everything about Israel without nuance and without qualifications. And tonight, each person hearing this talk has a different blend of feelings and viewpoints regarding Israel. We can't assume that we all feel the same way, or that we all feel unconditional love, or that we get upset over the same things. The most common thing I hear is, I still love Israel, but I disagree with this policy, this decision, this move. Some people are pro-settlements, and others see them as a problem. Some see Israel's demands as the issue, and others blame the stubbornness of the Palestinians. I just watched the HBO movie, Oslo. It showed how if human beings can let themselves, they can come up with a plan. How people, Palestinians who had never met an Israeli and Israelis who had never met a Palestinian, when brought together with a little help and a little incentive, can come up with a plan. Unfortunately for all of us, not everyone was ready for the plan in 1995. But that shouldn't take away from the huge leap in showing that progress is possible. So this week, Ben & Jerry's ice cream was in the news.
It is, they have a statement that says they are planning, it'll be in 18 months, to no longer sell ice cream in the territories. I am not pro boycotting. I don't think it generally achieves its aims, and certainly not pro BDS against any part of Israel. This is an interesting boycott, however. It is not against Israel proper. It is against the occupation, which translates to being against the settlements and the expansion of settlements. And this view is usually connected to a two-state solution, which many of us do favor. And the biggest problem I see with this boycott is that it hurts Palestinians. Not only will they not be able to get my personal favorite, non-dairy Cherry Garcia, but there are Palestinians who work in production, distribution, and sales, and they are being affected by this boycott. Ken Israeli, who is vice president of the main Ben & Jerry's distributor in the West Bank, has warned that this boycott will greatly harm Palestinian employees. He is vice president of the Sagai Group, which distributes around 2 tons of ice cream every week, 2 tons, to Jerusalem and the West Bank. Sagi, I think. The Sagi Group employs Palestinians who receive good salaries and working conditions that they would never be able to attain from the Palestinian Authority. Now they will lose their jobs and be unable to support their families. And this was from a blog by Vasim Aid, who is a Palestinian living in Israel and a writer. It is also important to note that while the Ben & Jerry's decision is somewhat misguided, in my opinion, it is not anti-Semitic. There are plenty of Israelis I know who refuse to buy products made in the territories or to travel to the settlements. So along these lines, it is a legitimate protest by Ben & Jerry's. But my worry is that I have seen 50 articles about ice cream this week. And I've seen no real solutions to trying to create a stable situation between Israel and Palestine. I have seen no talks of the real issues. This is distracting us. We're not talking about advancing peace. On Israel's side, that might mean not expanding the settlements outside of the 3 large settlement blocks. That might calm down the ire of the Palestinians. But on the Palestinian side, it might mean not talking about freeing Palestine from the river to the sea, from the Jordan to the Mediterranean, the whole width of Jerusalem, of Israel. There are plenty of examples of real issues to be arguing about and debating, and I know you guys are aware of them. But instead, we're talking about whether or not we should be eating ice cream. So this is a distraction from the real issues at hand. I hope that in the next 18 months, something can be done to ameliorate this situation, both the larger issues of Israel and Palestine, of the West Bank, of the territories, and the much smaller issue of who supplies their ice cream. We, and I will always say we when I am talking about Israel, need to find a way that can create peace and coexistence for the human beings, for the human lives, for the men, the women, and children that this affects. I have enough guilt about eating the Cherry Garcia in my freezer. When I log it on noon, it tells me it's a red food. But I'd like to really find more productive ways to help Israel to live out the dream, Hatikva, for all people, to live safe and secure in this beautiful country that is home to so many. Kenya Hiratson, Gatson. We turn to page 586 as we rise for the Aleinu on the bottom of the page. Aleinu l'shavei Akadon Hakol, Latit Gdula Yotzer Bereshit, Shelo Asam V'Lo Yehalatzon, V'Lo Samanu K'Nishmat Ha'adama, Shelo Sam Chelkinu Kahen, V'Gor Aleinu K'Kol Hamonah. Anakyu kori, umishakavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. V'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, l'melech al ha'oretz, v'yom ha'hu. Ayom ha'yu, Adonai echad, U'shemo, U'shemo, U'shemo echad.
We turn to page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. And on this Shabbat, we remember those for whom we are the week of mourning. Thelma Leitzman, grandmother of Lisa Merlab. Donald Martin, father of Laura Bernstein. And those for whom we're in the period of Shloshim, the month of mourning. Norman Kreit, father of Alan Kreit. Ruth Kleinberger, mother of Cece Goldberg. Rita Kunkel, wife of Bill Kunkel. And Stephen Burstein, father of Alyssa Shaver. And those whose yahrzeits fall at this season, Ida Adam, Don Adam, Vincent Armstrong, Michael Bloomberg, Albert Carmen, Rita Cohen, Raymond Dinnerman, Sandy Ehrlich, Marilyn Feynman, Sanford Feynman, Joel Fishelson, Rose Frankel, Michelle Garber, Saul Gelman, Frank Genovese, Dorothy Hardell, Darwin Kitselnick, Adeline Lazar, Ray Levitan, Mickey Nussbaum, Martin J. Penzer, Sam Rabin, it is you, they spelled it wrong here, Raven.
Oh, no, that's spelled it right.
Oh, he just pronounced it different.
No, he's real Raven, R-A-V-I-N. We got E in my phone.
Okay. Sam Rabin, Abraham Reese, Philip Skauka, Marcus Bandorfer, Sylvia Weissman. Is there anyone else you're saying Kaddish for this evening? So we join in love and memory and inspiration. Yitzgadal v'yitzgadash shemei Rabbi. V'yamad yibra pirtei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayekon v'yomekon v'chayei dekol beit Yisrael. V'agalav v'zman karib v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam omei omayim. Yifarach v'yishtabach v'yifa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei kedusha v'rivu. Leila mikol birchata v'shirata Shushvakata v'nechemata Damiram v'yalma v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabbanin Shemaya V'chayim aleinu v'yalko Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom v'bracha Uyaseh shalom aleinu v'yalko Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. 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 Please remain standing as we turn to page 123 for the Shabbat Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav ורסמנו, ושבת קודשו, ואהבה וברצון נקראנו, זיכרון מעשה בראשית, דימויו תפילה, ונקרא לקודש, זכר יציאת מצרים. כי בנו אמרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הזמלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. Amen.
Yeah. Please be seated. We turn to page 371 for our prayers of healing. And we offer prayers for Jill Needleman, for Linda Saltzman, who moved over to the Orchard Estates. And I went and visited her the other day. Steve Strauss, 2. Esther Sklar, Chaya Roisa, Sina Billow, Shirley Axelberg, Jennifer Vittery, Moshe Bennett, Pam Levy, and Mia Sklar, all friends or relatives of Joel and Stacy. You gotta get healthier, friends. That's way too long a list. To Barbara Stern, cousin of Lynn Levine, Ivy Palmer, Ronnie Breutman, Michael Wagner, father of Lori Intra, Carolyn Gould, mother of Amy Dinnerman, Robin Baumgarten, Anthony Sestar, Bill Karasik, Linda Walters, Doreen Penchik, Jack Lagros, father of Natasha Felixi, Mickey Plass. Please put some names in the chat if you want to. And who else here has someone they're praying for today? Miriam?
I think it's Tanya.
Thank you. Judy?
Joni Spielberg and Karen Adler.
Thank you. Jack?
Heidi Sastek.
Thank you. Joe?
Irene
On this side. Cece?
Mildred Goldberg.
Good.
Melissa Levick.
Thank you. And please put names in the chat. And we send out this prayer of healing to all those we've named, to all those who are on our Mishabeirach list, to all those who are in need of healing, even the people we don't know. Let's send out these prayers of healing. And I also invite each of you sitting here to receive these prayers of healing, because we could all use a little bit of extra love, a little extra healing.
Mishabeirach Avotenu Mekor Avraham Yeimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And let us say, Amen. Mishabeirach Imotenu Mekor Avraham Avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and and let us say, Amen.
Amen, amen, a refuah shlema, a complete and speedy healing. We take a minute to celebrate. So Fern Holzer has a birthday this week, right? Happy almost birthday. So glad you're here. You have to stand up. Trying to get her. And Aileen and Bill Koviner have an anniversary. I'm doing the math kind of quickly. 46, I think. Something like that. I think that's right. Anybody else birthday, anniversary? While I take a minute and look at my list. End of July, people, you're not supposed to sit down. Amy Goldstein. Are you just putting your book down? You weren't putting it down. Amy, whoops. I know, so please wish Amy a very happy birthday this week. Bobby Cotman might be joining us. Just see. Richard Hurt. Sometimes join us. Ellen, where'd she go? To wish Ira a very happy birthday. We got Laura Bernstein, happy birthday. Oh, she lost her dad this week. So. Lauren, happy birthday. You got to stand up too. At the end of July, or oh, all right, you're here. This is getting pretty close to the end of the month. Marvin Broitman had a birthday this week, all over Facebook. All over. We missing anybody? Yes.
We had our 25th anniversary, July 3rd.
Happy anniversary. Stand up. Stand up. Happy anniversary. How lovely. And let's have a wonderful Shehechianu to celebrate some really nice Mazel tov. And you may kiss your spouse, your beloved. Happy birthday. And if Bill and Aileen are out there, I hope you gave each other a nice smooch. A couple of reminders as Vanessa makes her way up. If you have put someone on the Mishaberach list, then they are better. Let us know so we can take their names off of the Mishaberach list. Okay. So, and we have, we're out in the courtyard, and it's just a reminder that we have this beautiful wall of remembrance where some of the bricks fell. We're going to get them replaced, and that we have this wall walk to the future to celebrate Simchas and other wonderful events. And while the project is about 20 years old and has lost a little bit of steam, there are still spaces available on both. And it is quite nice to come back each summer and find names or see people names and remember an event during a great occasion. So if you'd like to honor your loved one, you can call the office and find out a little more about that. So it's my pleasure to ask Vanessa to share a couple upcoming events.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat
Happy birthday, anniversary, and happy anniversary to everybody. Just a few announcements to make. Everything is on the weekly emails that you get and on the website, so you can check it out there for more information. Tomorrow morning is Torah study at 9 a.m. Monday, July 26th at 7 p.m. is the Board of Trustees meeting in person. Very excited about that. Tuesday, July 27th at 10 a.m. is Jewish Tangents. Sunday, August 8th at 10 a.m. is The Village. It's an in-person meeting at Dix Hills Jewish Center for TBT members 60 and above. Please register, and you can find that on the website and the emails. Monday, August 9th at 7 p.m. we have a special speaker, Shir Peled. We had a wonderful Zoom with her this morning, just talking about what she's going to discuss about. She will be talking about how she was a female undercover fighter in the IDF, and she'll talk about specific issues of PTSD that affect women that were in part of the IDF, really, she has an incredible story. I invite everybody to be part of that. Check it out.
And that will be in person and on Zoom, but we'll be hosting here.
Thursday, August 12th, we have the amazing Cantor's concert.
That's good music.
Definitely. That's
We
exciting.
have sponsorships. We're raising money for the screening installation in the sanctuary as well as other music programming. So please come enjoy I can never pronounce this, charcuterie board and some wine. Charcuterie?
Anyone?
Some meat on a plate.
Italian.
There are vegetarian options, but please come. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Fantastic. And our sharing table, which has been going really well. We are in need of volunteers and donations. So again, on the website, the emails, it gives all the specific information. The wine dance camp sponsorships, you can make a donation to help support a camper there to help them go on different trips. And we have our backpack drive going on now. We're aiming to fill 150 backpacks this year. And all the info is on the weekly website and the emails that we have. Thank you again. Shabbat shalom.
I'm closing with another love song for Cuba. It really is actually tonight and tomorrow, this Valentine's Day of ours. And this one's a little bittersweet. The reason that I'm singing it is because I want to. The reason I'm singing it is because I want to, but also because there are some of our congregants that are this evening at this very moment, seeing Brandy Carlisle, my favorite musician in the world, at Forest Hills. And a lot of people don't know that this song was actually written by Dolly Parton, who's another one of my favorite artists. And they sing it together often as a duet. And they did it at the Newport Folk Festival. Actually, it was absolutely gorgeous. So this is for Brandy. This is for
And it's very unfair that our congregants are there because you turned them on to
I'm the
Brandy
one
Carlisle.
that brought Brandy into their lives.
Bob and Beth.
If I should stay, I would only be in your way. So I'll go, but I know I'll think of you each step of the way. And I will always love you. I will always love you. Bittersweet memories, that's all I am taking with me. Goodbye, please don't cry. We both know I'm not what you need. And I will always love you. Will always love you. I hope life treats you kind, and I hope you have all that you ever dreamed of, and I wish you joy, happiness, but above all this, I wish you love, and I will always love you. Will always love you. Will always love you.
And after we invoke God's blessing, I just have one request that you put the books back on the cart so we can help John out with that. So please rise. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu. Please help us to feel your ahava, your love. Please help us to spread your ahava, your love. And let us sing. Shabbat shalom. It's so good to see everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Good Shabbos.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Oh, Bill, I like your backdrop.
Shabbat shalom.
I'm there with you.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
Shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Stay healthy, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Good night, everyone.
Shabbos.
Good night, everyone.
To Harry to tell her we walked.
Thanks for being
Yes,
here.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's cool.
Oh, happy birthday to
It is what
Mickey.
it
Didn't
is.
see that before. Wow.
Hi, Rabbi.
Hey, Jill. Hey, Phil. Hey, Joanne. Linda and Bobby. Even though it says Linda, I see Bobby. And Ellen.
I'm here at Linda's.
Stephen and Fern. And the Mandels and the Narbies. How nice. And other Stephen. Good to see everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Hi, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Night, everyone.
Good night.
See you. Bye.
Beautiful service. So beautiful.
Thank you.
The breathing was wonderful.
Thank you. Great to see you guys.
You could do this if you like.